Hi. Before starting work with Hayley, I was diagnosed with generalised anxiety disorder. This came about after a successful teaching career, but one that was highly stressful. I think, though, looking back, it was probably a syndrome I'd had developing since childhood. I've had a lifetime of diet clubs, so kind of yo-yo weight loss and weight gain. Some therapy over the last 3 years, which has been really helpful, but none of it really was kind of the final piece of the jigsaw in terms of healing myself. The words that I've written down about myself before I started working with Hayley are: I was tired, defeated, I had imposter syndrome, anxious, physically unhealthy, unhappy, no trust in myself, and just a real sense of kind of feeling inadequate. So the approach that I took, or we took when working with Hayley, is that she listened. She did huge amounts of listening in the first meetings that we had. And looking back, I did have a lot to offload, and I felt immediately comfortable to do that with her. We started different work. One of the first exercises I did was to connect with my inner child. And I was really curious about the things we were doing, although some of them felt slightly strange at first. And my advice to anyone working with Hayley is keep an open mind, follow her advice, and discuss it with her. Quite often the lessons that came out of it were through the discussions, not just doing the exercises themselves. Lots of journaling, so writing things down, reviewing and reflecting on them, exercises and training modules that she posted and recommended. And looking back, this was all about kind of discovering myself. I grew up being told by my parents that they knew me better than I knew myself. And that's just so untrue. I can kind of laugh at that now. But alongside physical and emotional abuse and neglect in my upbringing, I realised I'd just never got to know myself, and I'd never learned to really care for me. So being that kind of parent to myself. So what have I learnt about myself? I've learnt through my work with Hayley that I love who I am. People love me for who I am. I can parent myself. I'm still a work in progress. That's okay. I also now think it's okay to make mistakes. So I've got rid of that kind of perfectionism syndrome that I had, which actually is less stressful. I've realised that I was my own harshest critic and it wasn't serving me well. And I'm basically learning to enjoy just being me. So in terms of what I've achieved in a kind of tangible way, I'm nearly off the anxiety medication that I've been on for a number of years. I've lost nearly 3 stone in weight, and that is continuing. But more important than those things, I'm loving myself and who I am and just finding life more enjoyable. So what's it like working with Hayley? The words I've come up with are: it's trusting, it's calm, it's positive, it's a personalised approach, it's about listening, it's confidential. Hayley's like a friend who has your interests at the heart of everything she guides you on and everything that she proposes to you. In terms of, would I say something to someone who's sitting on the fence when considering working with Hayley? Yes. What I'd say to you and to other people is the definition of madness is doing the same thing again that didn't get you to where you wanted to be at first and isn't going to get you there again because it's still the same thing that's not going to work. That was what was happening to me. I've made a fundamental change, and I'm just currently enjoying getting to know myself, being me, being healthier, being happier. And I just couldn't recommend the journey I've gone on any more to people, and just give it a go.